one of the reasons why the response was so large is because recruitment numbers are down across so many departments in the state. 2 on Your Side's Nate Benson is looking into this growing problem and what efforts are underway to fix it.
Right now, call volumes for most of our companies have never been higher, but our ranks have never been smaller.
And it was never more evident that resources were stretched thin than the Springville fire late Monday night.
Years ago, we could handle this with 3 or 4 or 5 companies with manpower. We reached out as far as Hamburg, Gowanda.
Being 20 and 16 miles away from Springville, respectively, over a dozen volunteer companies responded to the Springville fire Monday. Recruitment is a problem. According to the Firefighters Association of the State of New York, the number of volunteers has dropped from 125,000 in the year 2000 to about 75,000 today.
The types of emergencies they're asking to be responding to, it gets more complicated.
So how can lawmakers fix this recruitment crisis? Or is it even beyond the scope of Albany's vast problem-solving abilities? The state's Firefighters Association thinks
incentives may get your attention, but you have to have that commitment to want to be able to train and respond on those days when your friends, your family, and your neighbors need you.
But still, lawmakers are trying. At the end of 2022, Governor Hochul signed a bill that would allow property tax breaks for volunteers, but counties need to opt into it. Erie County legislators in the minority caucus are calling on their colleagues to opt in.
If we can help them to recruit 1 or 2 more members, then that is our job, and that's what we put forth today. And I'm going to encourage my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to join me in supporting this.
In Governor Hochul's 276-page State of the State booklet, she called for legislation that would provide limited compensation for volunteer firefighters. In the state assembly and Senate, there's at least a dozen different types of bills being proposed for various ways to incentivize volunteer firefighters, including one from Senator Patrick Gallivan.
That is providing a wage tax credit to employers for somebody who is a volunteer so that they could leave work in the middle of a shift, for instance, and respond to a fire in the community, hopefully save a life.
Senator George Borrello says Albany needs to get out of its own way and do whatever it can to try to solve the problem.
Let's do what's not often done in Albany, and that is to sit down with the stakeholders and ask them what they think would be best.
One thing that lawmakers and the Firefighters Association agrees on is we need to figure out how to encourage volunteering before it's tragically too late. In Buffalo, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.